Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a pantry restock. There are some items that we are low on or just don't have right now that I like having on hand and make certain things like making foods and different things easier at home. I also want to use up some things that we have that might go bad soon if I don't use them up, aka bananas. Look at these are crazy. Anyway, if you haven't seen any of my other pantry restock videos or meal prep videos, just kind of videos where I am making food for the future, I'll link that playlist down below and you can check it out. But for now, let's get started. I think we're gonna get started right here. You all know I love me some sourdough. So the day before, I made like a sourdough banana loaf batter. And I thought what I would do was make it before and then add the bananas after. The reasoning behind it was because previously when I've done this and I've fermented it with the bananas, I don't like the way that my batter turns out and my bananas get really brown and it's just not my thing. So I've been experimenting, but if you want to know my recipe thus far, it is 140 grams of sourdough discard, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 3 eggs, 1 1/4 cup of brown sugar, half a cup of butter melted and cooled, and then 1/4 cup of milk. I use almond milk. And then I'm gonna mix all that together and then add 2.5 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and then a bunch of spices, nutmeg, clove, cinnamon. I was mixing my banana in with my batter. My batter sat in the fridge overnight and I'm just getting to it today. And the banana is hard to mix in by hand. So I did take a beater just for a minute to really try to incorporate it into the batter, but at the same time attempt to not overmix it. I may have overmixed it. I am shaping my parchment paper over top of my 10x5 loaf tin, and then I'm gonna put the parchment paper inside because it's shaped to the tin pretty much, and then pour the batter in, and I'm going to top this with some cinnamon, some steel cut oats, some raw coconut palm sugar. I'm gonna bake this at 375 for about 45 minutes to even an hour. The next time I do this, I think I'm going to remove 1 banana. So I used about 4 bananas in the mix. I think next time I'm gonna shoot for more, maybe just 3, because this was a very moist, kind of goopy batter, and I feel like that's why it took a while for this to bake. But on to the next thing. I really enjoy having weekly kind of sauces, toppers, dips in my fridge, and I will make them on a Monday or Tuesday so we can enjoy it for the whole week plus the weekend. Today I'm making pesto. This is one of my favorites when it comes to like sauces, dips, condiments. If I could live off pesto and mayonnaise and tzatziki, I definitely would. So I'm going to do 3/4 cup of pine nuts. These are raw, and I'm going to toast them in my cast iron, put it into my Vitamix, and then add all the good flavor. I got about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. I'm gonna add in garlic. 2 to 5 cloves is a great place to start. I find if my kids are having this, they're not crazy on garlic, so I kind of pull back, but if this is really just for me, girl's gonna lay on the garlic. I'm gonna do half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to do 1/3 cup of olive oil. You may wanna add more if you want it a little bit runnier. I like a bit of a thick pesto. And then you're gonna do about 2 cups of basil leaves. I have my own little basil plant. I'm gonna take some of the leaves from here. And then I also have just a big thing of local pesto or basil that I got that I'm going to put into the mix. Scrape down the sides of your blender as you go along. I have a Vitamix, and I find that the bottom, even though it's a little more narrow, it can still be a little tricky for some things to actually get down and blended. So take your time, scrape it, blend it. I had to do this maybe a handful of times until I got to the texture I liked. I definitely like what I said before, a thicker pesto, and I also just kind of like it chunkier. I think it's delicious. If I have a few whole pine nuts in there, glory be, it is so good. So I'm gonna store this in the fridge, and it's not gonna last too long because it is so good. sponsoring this portion of today's today's video and keeping me as a busy mama super hydrated. What is Element? Well, it's basically just a really delicious electrolyte drink that's gonna help your body with proper functioning. Do you suffer from headaches, maybe fatigue and sleepiness? I usually get that about 2 p.m. Do you struggle with maybe muscle cramping? Element can help you out with that. And not only that, but Element boasts of no sugar, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, no fillers, no gluten, none of the bad stuff. Element was formulated to help anyone like you, like me. You don't have to be an Olympian. You don't have to be a Navy SEAL. You can be like me, just a busy mama that needs her electrolytes. Not only am I a mom, but I'm a busy mom. And I'm a sweaty mom. And when you sweat, the main electrolyte your body loses is actually sodium, aka salt. That's why Element is made using, thank you, an electrolyte science-backed ratio, which is 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. So this is your friendly reminder to always replace your electrolytes in order to not experience muscle cramping and fatigue. Right now, Element is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any drink mix order. That's 8 single serving packs with any drink mix order, which is a great way to try out some new flavors. Element also just came out with sparkling electrolyte water, which is so good. 10 out of 10 recommend it. Go to drinklmnt.com/Sarah Therese if you want to get in on that deal of the free sample packs. It's only available through my link, which is down there in the description box. All right, getting into lunchtime. I thought I would just show you what I'm giving the kids. So I had some freezer sourdough biscuits that I took out and I end up toasting them. I'm chopping up some apples that we get from our local market. They're ambrosias and they are so good. Each of my kids are getting a spoonful of natural peanut butter. I have a bunch of dates here too, some chocolate chips, and I also added some strawberries and kiwis. I love giving my kids dates, peanut butter, and dark chocolate chips because I find it's just so filling and such a yummy treat for them. So while they're having that, and yes, you only saw 4 kids there. My other child wasn't feeling well, so he's having a nap. He's already eaten, so I only had to make food for 4, which was great. For myself, I have some leftover zucchini fritters, which I make these almost weekly because it's so good, with cashew cream, tzatziki, and I put some of that pesto on top. Oh my goodness, it is so good. I'm gonna take out my banana loaf. I'm gonna let it cool a little bit before I start slicing it. But yo, this was good. This lasted maybe half a day. I find whenever I make things like muffins and loaves, it's just such a go-to. It's easy for the kids to have. It's easy for me to put together and give to the kids easily. So as I'm packing them up here, the kids are smelling it and they're going, wait, what's that? And I ended up handing out a ton of slices to the younger kids, as well as I had a slice and my husband had a couple. So again, when you have a family of 7, you really do go through food quite quickly. And so things like banana loaves, muffins in general are just handy to have because they are easily enjoyed and quick to hand out. I love having that in stock in my kitchen always. I needed to do my ranch seasoning. So I make ranch at home. It's really good, and I've always just kind of combined things in the ranch mixed sour cream itself, like when I'm making it, and I add in all my herbs separately. And I was like, girl, why are you making this so hard? Make just your own ranch seasoning. So that's what I'm doing. So it's garlic powder, smoked paprika, mustard powder, parsley, dill, thyme, sea salt, and pepper. I didn't measure anything. I just put it in by feel because that's how I do most of my stuff. Give it a really good shake, and this is just handy to have when you're making ranch, or you need maybe even something to top on top of certain things. So like I made a big garlic bread loaf and I added some of the ranch seasoning on top where you would put like your butter and garlic, and it just enhanced the flavor and was awesome. And I figure while I'm here and I have all my spices out, I might as well restock them so I'm ready and fully prepared for whenever I'm making and baking. days where I am restocking, where I am meal prepping, where I'm doing a lot of hands-on kind of looking to the future stuff, it takes a long time. I usually take a whole day, put it aside and go, okay, today I'm in the kitchen doing stuff and getting stuff done. I make lists. I will even block out time. I look at my day as 5 different blocks. There's the block before the kids wake up, there's the block when the kids are up during morning, and then afternoon block, and then evening block, and then evening after the kids go to sleep block. So there's certain blocks in my day where I go, okay, this is the block I can do this is the block I can do that. But for days when it's a pantry restock or a meal prep, I find that I just open up all those blocks and do what I have to do. Right now, I am making sourdough crackers. I have this recipe on my website and I can link it below. On my website, it's sourdough herb crackers, I believe is what I called them, because I usually put herbs in these, but this time around, I wanted to use an everything bagel seasoning that you'll see in a bit here. So I'm just prepping the dough, I'm letting it sit, and while I'm letting it sit, I'm tackling something else. So I washed these tomatoes that I got at Costco. They were such a good deal. I was like, way to be, Costco. I can't believe I didn't start shopping with you sooner. It literally took me 5 kids to go, okay, now I can get a Costco card, and I should have started sooner. But I have all these great tomatoes. I'm gonna wash them, take out the stems, cut them in half, and then put them on a pan. I like making my own tomato sauce. The reason why is because it's really cheap, it's super easy, and it always ends up being way more delicious than anything you could buy at the store. I'm adding in some garlic. I'm just cutting off the bottom, placing the garlic in there, adding olive oil, and then a ton of sea salt. You're gonna bake this at whatever degree your oven is at. I've sometimes baked this at 350, sometimes at 425. I don't feel like you can burn these. I feel like they will just get soft and ready for you when you need them to be. So it's a very gracious, easy recipe. So I'm putting those in there for a future tomato sauce, and now I'm gonna tackle these crackers. We are huge snack people. We are constantly in our home having snacks, asking for snacks, looking for snacks, and needing snacks. I really enjoy having things like crackers or, like I said, loaves or even cookies on hand because it's easy to grab and enjoy. So for these, I'm rolling the cracker dough very thin, and I'm going to add everything bagel seasoning on top. I was like, this could be really good or really bad. I find everything bagel seasoning can be great, but sometimes when you bake it, it just kind of tastes weird. I'm also adding a bit of pepper and thyme on top, and then I'm going to take my rolling pin one more time with parchment paper to press the seeds and the onion salts and all that stuff into the sourdough cracker, and then I can grease a pan just lightly and use my pizza cutter to cut crackers. I got really close to buying some cracker cutouts and shapes, and I realized I'm just not that mom. I might buy it and use it once, but really the pizza cutter is so fast, and maybe I can't be a fun mom, but I can be a mom that makes my kids homemade crackers, and that is good enough. Oh, and before I put them onto the sheet here, I poked holes into all of them because it helps to keep them more thin instead of puffing up. But sometimes my kids do ask for puff crackers, and it's like really puffy crackers. They're super fun. I'm taking out the tomatoes and the garlic at the same time that I'm putting in the crackers. You are just looking for them to be soft and fragrant. That's what you're looking for. So grab those tomatoes, put them in. Some people like to peel off the skin. I like to keep it on there. I'm gonna add in some basil. We'll add in some sea salt too, and I'm just gonna use my hand blender to blend this up. It is such a beautiful orange color. What I'm going to do with this, actually I've already done it because I've eaten this already, but I love making a butter tomato sauce. So when I'm ready to enjoy the sauce, I add in a bunch of butter, heat it up on the stove, and then pour it over pasta. And it is so good. The kids enjoy it. Me and Kieran really enjoy it, and it's quite a delicious, kind of tangy meal. My crackers are out, and now I am making homemade peanut butter cups. So I was buying these really nice organic peanut butter cups, and then they changed up some of the ingredients at the store, and I was like, why? Why you gotta do me like that? So what I am doing now is making my own. I use natural peanut butter, the crunchy version, with sea salt. I'm adding in some more sea salt, some almond flour, and then a little bit of my homemade icing sugar. You could use honey, but I figure this is a treat. So let's add in some icing sugar. I like using muffin cups for these because it's an easy way to pack them, take them with you, and also just to mold them. Very Reese's peanut butter cup-esque. So I'm gonna take just some melted chocolate. It's just pure melted dark chocolate. And I'm gonna put it into the bottom of all of my muffin cups, and then you can take some of your peanut butter and actually form it into a bit of a puck. Push it into the chocolate, and you're gonna repeat that to all these. You don't have to do any refrigeration in between. I do this as quickly as I can. I don't have any measurements or anything for this. I just go by eyeball. I also like that the peanut butter is easy to use. The trickiest part is just the melted chocolate, but I put some more melted chocolate on top. I take a chopstick, I kind of swirl it around a little bit. It just makes sure that all these are kept in one kind of cup or puck shape. And then I'm gonna top it with some roasted peanuts, press those all in, and these are just divine. Anytime I have made these, they last maybe a day or two, and I end up with about 24 in a single batch. But they're just really dreamy, super savory, but also ridiculously sweet and fun. Anytime we are without them, the kids are like, wait, where are those? We want those back again. I find them also easy just to store. We put them into Snapware containers. I stack them on top of each other and then put them in the fridge. And I had a few extras that wouldn't fit in the container, so I thought I would hand those out to the kids. And then once my crackers are cooled, they're going into a container, and we are ready to enjoy those as well. Thank you for being here and watching my pantry restock video. If there's anything further you want to see from me, please let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!